Thank y'all for tuning in to Evergreen Pod. We back, man.
Happy
Doug.
2023, y'all.
Doug, you in there?
I'm here.
It's late yet.
I know it's late.
Dante, you in there?
Oh, yeah.
Swag, what up, baby? EJ the DJ, I see you. Hey, man, we rolling. We about to be short and sweet. We know y'all been missing us. Hey, but before we keep going, Doug, what you want to tell them, Doug?
Make sure y'all go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. The Evergreen Podcast. Instagram, The Evergreen Pod. TikTok, The Evergreen Pod. Give us a like on Instagram, a follow on Instagram, a follow on TikTok. And again, for our YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe.
Hey, and I really want them to subscribe. You know why?
Why?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because we are getting paid now. Please subscribe. I am ready. I need my followers, my viewers. I need everybody up right now, man. Man, let's go, man. We spreading wealth out there, man. Yeah, man. It's
don't
2023,
forget, I
man.
want you, at the end of this, you got to announce something at the end of this.
I'm with it.
All right.
I'm with it, man.
All right, bet.
We gonna save it, man. What y'all
No.
want to talk about today, though, man? We got a lot on the plate, man. We got Coach Prime left Jackson State.
Yes, sir.
Went to Colorado. We got shout out to DeMar Hamlin, his situation, the
Yes.
NFL, the new protocols. Hopefully they come out with. We got the playoffs are over now.
Yep.
That's how long we've been gone.
It's big game time.
It is
game.
Super Bowl time. Georgia won again.
Did we talk about that? No.
No. Georgia won again. We got a lot to talk about, man. Referees in every sport right
Every
now got to
sport.
get remade.
Every sport.
Oh, man.
It's
Every
rigged. We're in the Matrix.
What's rigged?
go.
Everything?
Everything's rigged.
Everything rigged?
Everything rigged.
Half the people are clones. It's a different world out here.
It's a different world, man.
The
If
weather
we-
not real.
Nothing's real.
We were recording before
Dante
we
not
were
real.
recording. Dang.
Might be a clone.
Dante a clone?
Dante is a clone.
Oh, man. You've been doing Dante your whole life.
Have I? Is it Dante or Dontre? Which one is
Man.
it? That's how you do this, man, bro.
Trey.
Oh, man. So what y'all think about Coach Prime, man, going to Colorado? Good move, or bad move?
It surprised me. It surprised me just because of everything that kind of came out after, like in the press conference. You know, that the athletic director saying we don't have enough money to pay him right now. it's like hey, you know, for y'all that's old enough to remember, you know, writing checks. You know, you tell them don't cash it till next Wednesday.
Yeah, man.
Just hold that check for me until next Wednesday, but it's gonna be there. Yeah. But I mean, you know, since then, I mean, he's been hammering it home in recruiting. You know, you looking at their recruiting rankings, you know, from before he got there to now, they're skyrocketing out there. I believe they're in the top 30 of recruiting numbers right now. He's got, you know, Travis Hunter that transferred from Jackson State with him. Kamari Hawkins looks to be somebody that everyone's chasing, but he's number one cornerback in this class, and it looks like he might have him locked up. We'll find out. Signing day is tomorrow, actually, so you know, hood holiday for everybody.
Get over early. Keep your phone with you,
So
man.
we'll see how it shakes out. So you know, he looks to affecting, you know, if you know, following the social media part of it, he looks to be affecting change, but in a different type of way within a different society than what he was in at Jackson State. So I'm excited to see what he does.
I want to say I'm grateful. It's New Year. It's 2023, right? This is our first episode in 2023, man. And I think back to the first episode I was really ever on Evergreen,
Right.
And that question came up about Coach Prime. So it was a little over a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. Yep. And I said that
I think it's some traction too. We reposted it.
Yeah, man. Shout out. Hey, subscribe. And I said that he was going to a West Coast school, which Colorado is. They play in the Pac-12, which is a West Coast school. I didn't think that it would be Colorado simply because of geographic. But if you look at
the high school scene, the high school scene in Colorado is not really known for producing talented football players.
So I didn't think that, because I didn't, you know, just being honest, I didn't think black people get along with snow that good. But he's proven me wrong. They're snowmobiling and skiing and
Right.
and taking many vacations and like they're living the life right now, man. And so both his sons then transferred with him also.
Yep.
And a lot of players. And the one key thing is on the football side, gonna be real sneaky good next year is their secondary.
Yeah.
And it's not because of the two players you named. They have all three cornerbacks back.
Right.
They were sophomores.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be really
Experienced
good
in
the secondary. So I think Jackson actually won this situation. From me being Swag, because I am Swag, X Prime, you know what I'm saying? So I think Jackson actually won this situation because of the publicity. Right? Now they have to go ahead and execute now without him. But I think they actually won more than Colorado did. Coach Prime is always going to win. So no matter what he does, he's going to leave a legacy of winning because that's who he is. He's a winner. So all Jackson has to do is just keep on going. And hopefully Coach TC fill in that gap. And then they could get their endowment up. But that's another episode on Evergreen y'all need to check out too, man, because the stuff we be talking about be real on here. So Jackson, I think, actually won from this situation. Coach Prime always going to win. So Colorado should win in a couple years. But Jackson is ready to win now. He has set y'all up to execute. So all alumni, everybody in Swag, be patient, be calm. The sun has came up. It is a new year now. Spring ball is about to start. Signing day is this week. Jackson gonna be all right. Everybody take a deep breath, man. That's my take on it, Doug.
Jackson State's still getting recruits that they normally wouldn't have got, even Deion Sanders leaving. I know they're getting transfers from D1 schools, all because with Deion, like you said, the effect that he left at Jackson State. I think the move for me, Deion going to Colorado is a little bit different. I love the fact that kind of like LeBron James, he put his friends on. He's a man of his word. He took the coach from Mississippi Valley State. He told him, say, if I do leave, I'm going to bring you with me. And I think that's an opportunity for him because the man was like, man, my whole dream is to coach football, but I never thought I'd be able to coach it on that level. Yeah. So here he goes from the SWAC, to the Pac-12. He brought more coaches on that Jackson State staff with him. I think the linebacker coach came with him. So these guys kind of, what was it? The Jeffersons are moving on up. Like they're moving on up. So for me, I love that he did that. That he brought people with him. I think he's going to win at Colorado. The schedule is crazy because they play like an all Pac-12 schedule. But I do believe he will be able to recruit. The simple fact that he's Deion Sanders and just what he brings, the confidence, the allure, that his ability to galvanize not only players but galvanize people, and he's just a main attraction wherever he goes. And people got to realize that this is who he is, and he's the only person that I know that can separate Deion Sanders, the man, in prime time, and does a phenomenal job. A lot of times people have these alter egos, and then they let the alter ego take over who they truly are.
Yeah,
you see it all the time. Deion Sanders does a phenomenal job of separating Deion Sanders, the father, the husband, whatever, to coach to prime time, the recruiter, the football coach, the swag, the confidence. He does a phenomenal job, and a lot of people can't do what he's doing, and so he's doing a tremendous job. I think he's going to create a winning culture. Yep. And again, he's not going to be there a long time. So, like you said, Deion Sanders is a winner.
He's a winner.
So winners don't stay still. Winners slay the dragon and they move on. So he goes to the SWAC, turns around, not only Jackson State, but he turned around like the HBCU and like the feel of it. Yep. Did that, slay that dragon. What's next? So now he's going to go to Colorado and show people I can win on this level. I'm going to slay that dragon.
And he's going to help the Pac-12, who's been losing also because they just lost UCLA and USC. Right. So there's a down conference. So he's going to lift that conference up the same way he did the SWAC.
Revenue. The revenue. They're going to generate a lot more revenue. Now, Pac-12, I'm going to slay this dragon. And what's next? Who's the big daddy of them all?
Alabama.
Alabama. The SEC. No, I ain't saying.
You heard him, huh? You heard him, huh?
I didn't say he was going to the SEC. After Colorado, no, I don't know how long he's going to stay there. But after that, I believe he's going to a school in the SEC and win there.
when Saban retires. He'll
Same
be at
time. So look,
so
we saying this, we're gonna sell this.
So real quick before we switch subjects, we'll start with you, Doug, and then work our way around. How many wins next year? They have the hardest schedule in the country next year. How many wins next year, and how many wins will he have in year 3? So I want to give the expectations out there. I don't want people to think that Prime coming in right now, they're about to go to the national championship next year.
How many games they won this past season?
I think 1. 1 or 0? 0 or 1?
It was pretty bad.
I think it was, they fired the dude, yo. Like,
Yeah,
so I think it was 1.
Yeah, they fired
I think it was 1 in 11.
All right. So honestly, like looking at that schedule, I say that 5-win team, which is, 5 is better than 1 or 2, and I think they're gonna be competitive. It's not gonna be like when they lose, where it's gonna be just their blowouts. So I think a 5-win. I wouldn't be surprised if they do become bowl eligible. I'm not gonna be surprised at all. I think in year 3, especially with the expansion of the playoffs, I can't really tell you how many wins they're gonna have, but I can tell you they will.
I'm just talking regular season.
Regular season wins. And year 3, I would say probably 10 to 11. He'll be in the hunt for the playoffs.
In the hunt for the playoffs.
Because now,
If he win 10, he in the playoffs.
yeah, he's in the playoffs. So he's definitely in the hunt for the playoffs in year 3. And then he's gonna do that, and guess what? He's leaving.
He gonna leave. I'm gonna say 7 next year, just because I think he gonna sneak up on some people. Some people gonna actually not. They gonna think it's all hype. They don't realize the work ethic that he have and his team gonna have. The same thing a lot of people thought about Jackson. They thought they was all fluff until they got hit in the mouth. So I think what you have to realize too, that his quarterback has been in the same system since junior high. So all the rest of the players have to do is just learn their position. The quarterback is going to be on point. So they're going to win at least 7 games next year, maybe 8. They're going to sneak up on somebody like a Washington State, something like that. I don't think they'll beat a Utah. They're gonna punch USC in the mouth. I think it's just little teams like that. The Pac-12 is still the Pac-12. They don't really play no defense, so they're gonna get hit in the mouth. Year 3, 11 wins, playoff bound. I think they got a chance to win it all in year 3.
I think because of bowls getting expanded, 5 wins right now is getting some teams into bowl games. So I'm with Doug with saying it's probably gonna be 5 wins next year. Year 3, year 3, you're gonna have a new quarterback. That is like you said now, right? Shedeur has been in the system. Year 3, you're gonna have another quarterback. So I'm not gonna be as optimistic as you two. I'd say right on the cusp of double-digit wins. I'd say 8 or 9 wins.
Now, see, I was basing it off. I thought Shedeur was eligible after next year, so that quarterback will be in his second year in year 3. So that's why I was saying that. I thought Shedeur was eligible.
Shedeur
will be eligible.
He played as a true freshman.
He's a junior this year.
So he's a junior. So he'll come out after this year. So I'm thinking the next quarterback gonna be year 2 and year 3 starting. He'll have a year experience. That's what I was thinking.
It would depend if Shedeur leaves after this year.
Yeah, I got you.
How good do y'all think Shedeur really is?
I think he needs 2 years in the Pac-12, and I think he's gonna. I think after that, if he has solid, I think he's a solid top of the draft, not top of the rounds, upper rounds draft. I don't think he's gonna be like a free agent or lower half. I think he's very accurate. He anticipates well. Just I don't know about the arm strength. That because just being real in the swag, you're not really experiencing a lot of tight coverage. So
How dare you say that about the swag?
It's the truth, man. It's the truth.
When he throwing the full star wide receivers and you don't really have full star cornerbacks guarding them, it's not gonna be.
It's not gonna go well.
It's not gonna go well. Like he throwing the butt naked open.
Phrase of the day.
they running wide open. So it's not hard throws, but the timing. You could see the timing. You can't really see what it would be if pressure on him, and then pressure on the throw to be perfect on the throw. So that remains to be seen. But I think his anticipation and his accuracy is there.
I think he's gonna get hurt in the draft. He's gonna get hurt in the draft from what his dad did all them years ago, and how publicized it's been. How his dad treated the people with the draft and the other teams, and how some people don't like what his dad does. So some people gonna associate him with that because people fall in love with personalities, and your personality don't rub everybody the right way.
Sure, we didn't see multiple times how these what they call it unnamed scouts have these stories that they
Like,
drop to Adam Schefter.
Put your name
and stuff
behind
like
it
that.
if
Exactly.
you really want to stand on it.
Exactly.
So some people confuse that confidence with cockiness, and Prime even talked about that.
Right.
So they're gonna look at him and think that's cockiness. So I don't see him as a high first round pick. Somewhere in the lower first round, the third round, I think he really is gonna go. But at the same time, I just watched the NFC Championship, and nobody knows who are their quarterbacks that was playing for the 49ers. Brock Purdy started for 4 years at Iowa State.
Yes, he did.
He got hurt. Then they brought a cat in that was playing in arena ball a couple years ago. So young Sanders will be in the NFL.
Right.
He's better than half the cats that are on rosters right now. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I just don't think he's gonna be like Mr. Irrelevant like Brock
Purdy
was.
That's crazy. Like you said, Brock Purdy was a 4-year starter at Iowa State and played well. But now, like with this whole situation with Brock Purdy and I think like media in general, how they kind of change the narrative on everything. Every situation, everybody changes the narrative on everything. Right before the AFC Championship game, Joe Burrow was the best quarterback in NFL. He loses to Mahomes. I told you he's not better than Mahomes, anything, all that stuff. Brock Purdy, now the whole talk is, well, he's hurt now. He may not ever start again. Like that's the narrative. And like that's crazy to me how quick that shifts. This dude was undefeated as a quarterback. And obviously, yeah, he had a phenomenal defense. No question about it. But Brock Purdy made plays. Like he just wasn't a game manager. Like he actually made plays. So all of a sudden now this guy loses. He gets hurt like first drive of the game, and now he's gonna lose his job.
Right? And I have been very bullish on. I don't think his career's gonna be a GOAT-worthy career. I have been saying this since 4 years ago. I do not think Joe Burrow is gonna be any type of GOAT. I don't think he's gonna be anything, and he's not gonna win a Super Bowl as long as he's with the Bengals. I don't care what they did last week. Even if they would have won last week, I still don't think they was winning the Super Bowl. I just don't think I think the NFL is rigged. And I don't think they're letting the Bengals win a Super Bowl. They have never let them win. Why would they start now? Like all of the great quarterbacks they had, the great players. You realize how good Carson Palmer was? They had T.O., T.J. Huzmanzada, and Ocho Cinco and couldn't win a thing.
They had a good running back too.
Corey Dillon.
Yeah.
And they had a solid defense, man. Their defense was on fire.
Was Pat-Man on the team? Pat-Man Jones is the DB?
He was on one of them teams towards the end of T.O. them being there. So so all of a sudden now y'all think they're going to let
the Bengals
with a cat that's showing up with a sorry T-shirt on. Like Joe Burrow shows up to the game with a T-shirt that says sorry, and they talking about this is Burrowhead Stadium now. Nah, dog, that's TV. That's publicity. They're boosting ratings. The Bengals are never winning. They're not. That's a fact. Have they ever won?
No, they haven't.
So what makes you think they're gonna win now?
I saw a crazy stat.
Especially with Sean Payton now going to Denver. So now you have a championship winning quarterback and a championship winning coach and a proven championship winning organization in Denver. Then you're going to still have Pat Mahomes. You're going to have whatever Miami doing. Belichick trying to revamp his old staff. You still got the Bills that don't know how to win yet. They're going to learn one day. I don't understand why people think Joe Burrow going to be some type of GOAT. It's not proven. Just because he played at LSU, the cat. And for everybody that's on this LSU Joe Burrow thing, Joe Burrow says last week, I am an Ohio State Buckeye. Stop it, LSU people. Please stop it. The guy says he's an Ohio State graduate and he's an Ohio State Buckeye. Stop rooting for him, bro.
They're not going to stop rooting for him, Will.
That's what he said out his mouth. Will ain't say that.
I thought he said
he graduated from LSU too.
But he said that in the interview when people.
I don't even think. Did he graduate from Ohio State?
Yes, that's how he was. He was a graduate transfer. The man says, "I am Ohio State Buckeye."
I thought he said LSU through and through in the interview.
Not in that interview.
I'm a Joe Burrow
Not
fan.
in that one.
Yeah,
I get it.
I got my take on Joe.
Go ahead. I just don't understand why they think he's gonna be a GOAT. Like anybody could have played quarterback with that team at LSU. Anybody say, bro? Terrence Marshall, Jamal Chase, Justin Jefferson, Thad Moss, everybody on the offensive line in the NFL right now.
I mean,
14 players from defenses in the NFL right now. Anybody could have won with that team.
We've seen Odell, Jarvis Landry.
The offense was different.
Mettenberger.
That was Les Miles. That was Les Miles, dog.
But Les was throwing that thing.
But not like Joe Brady was.
When he had them, he was throwing.
I'm sorry too.
Two-man routes.
I'm sorry too though. Shout out to Steve Insminger. Steve Insminger.
Who else? Name the third receiver.
K-Don Boone.
They had Kate went to the league.
Okay.
They had Russell Shepard. No, that was with Odell.
That was
Odell. No. K-Don Boone.
But he did have. But to your point, like you said, Dante, they were both 1,000-yard receivers.
They were both 1,000-yard receivers. So Les was throwing the thing that year. Yeah. When he had them, he was throwing it.
Yeah.
Still,
Go ahead, Dante.
Anyway, all right, Joe Burrow, man. Look,
I'm gonna get on Will here. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Go for it,
man. Look,
I'm ready.
Look, man. Joe.
I'm just stating facts. They have never won.
Joe in the AFC Championship, he had a Chris Jones problem. All right, Chris Jones was a 3-tech that was destroying whoever they lined up in front of him.
Yes,
and pressure up the middle. Doesn't matter how good you are at quarterback, pressure up the middle will rattle you or destroy your game plan.
Correct.
Especially if you come in thinking you're gonna pass the ball 40, 50 times. And I mean, Chris just didn't stop, bro. Like I'm gonna give him his flowers, dog. He turned that game for Kansas City. As far as Joe being a GOAT or not, I care less. I like the way he carries himself. I like the way he plays. I don't really get in the GOAT conversations like that, except for his swag that one time. So we, I like the way he plays. I like the way he pushes the envelope. And I mean, he takes accountability for results, good or bad. So I'm not. I don't really care about the GOAT conversation. I think if he gets an old line, he'll have a lot easier season.
And we talked about that. We talked about that last year after the Super Bowl, right? What we said, they needed to draft 7 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
They drafted 1 in the 6th round.
But then they picked up a bunch in free agency, but they all ended up getting injured.
But if you would have still drafted 7, if you would have drafted 7 and picked up 5,
you're right.
you would have had a better chance, right? So the Bengals are not setting him up. Is all I'm saying. I'm not knocking Joe Burrow, period, as a quarterback. Like he's a gangster. Mm-hmm. Like he put the ball on the money when it's supposed to be there. And he's gonna take a lick and he's gonna run. Mm-hmm. But he's not winning in Cincinnati. Is what I'm saying. And you're not going to be a GOAT if you don't win no championship.
You're saying it's an organizational problem, not
it's an organizational problem. I feel as though Joe Burrow's career is going to end up. I put it in the group text also as Dan Marino. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But Dan Marino's never in no GOAT conversations.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, because I
but did I not put this in the group text? That's exactly what I said, word for word, right? Dan Marino. Yeah, his career is going to be Dan Marino.
So it's an organizational issue because I had to make sure we had to switch that up because I was going on your head. It's an organizational issue and Joe Burrow issue. Organizational issue.
No. It's a Joe Burrow issue. Go for what you got.
Oh, it's a Joe Burrow issue.
It's a Joe Burrow issue. Go what you got. Go ahead. What you got to say? Get it. Hey, say it with your chest too. Get it off your chest, dude.
I think Joe. It's extremely hard to even make it to the Super Bowl. It's extremely hard to even win one Super Bowl. Extremely hard. Obviously, his second year, he gets to the Super Bowl. And once again, he was an old lineman away from winning that game. If Aaron Donald does not sack him, Jamar Chase is running wide open down the sideline. Ball game.
Butt naked open.
Phrase of the day.
The Bengals win. This year, he goes back to the AFC Championship game. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Against Jordan.
Basically, right. If it wasn't for, maybe the kid who hit Mahomes out of bounds late, which look
that ain't cost them the game.
It didn't cost him the game. I'm going to defend him on that instance because as a defensive player, when you're pursuing,
you just on, bro.
Yeah, when you're pursuing from behind, a lot of times it's hard to see where he's at on the sideline. Now, if he was coming at an angle, like a real angle on Mahomes, then I'll be like, okay, dude, you can see him. If the ball carries in front of you, when you can see him going out of bounds. But if you're behind chasing someone, a lot of times it's hard to really gauge that.
To turn it off.
And when he pushed him, all that stuff is momentum.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a boom, like a hard hit. But yeah, let me go back to get on Will here real quick, Don.
You got it.
Come on.
Yeah, so back Joe Burrow, I think so. AFC Championship. So second year makes it to the Super Bowl.
Back-to-back years.
Okay, goes to the AFC Championship game. Could have won that football
In
game.
the third year.
Third year. So what I'm seeing with Joe is the consistency with him. Right.
Honestly, second year he was hurt. You know, he tore
First year.
his
First year.
ACL the first year.
Yeah.
So.
And so it's been him being.
I'm talking about contract wise, because he about to get paid.
Yes, he
it's
is.
him. It's him being consistent this early on in his career. Now next year he may get beat in the first round. Who knows? But the consistency of Joe Burrow and his makeup, as far as he's strictly football. So I believe at some point, if he's strictly football, that he will get him a Super Bowl. Now when that's going to happen, I have no idea.
What team that's going to happen with?
Can he win? I think he can win it with the Bengals.
Ain't no way.
I think he can win it with
Ain't
the
no way,
Bengals.
bro.
Listen, let's say if Lyle Collins doesn't get hurt, let's just say Lyle Collins doesn't get hurt, because a lot of these teams that win championships, you have to get lucky.
Okay.
Like the
So stop right there. Stop right there. Lyle Collins is what he said, right? Correct? Did I hear him correctly? Were the Dallas Cowboys happy to get rid of him? Yes. So why are we going to say somebody else was happy?
the Dallas Cowboys in this situation. Man, come on, man.
No, I'm saying you brought up
the Dallas Cowboys.
No, I didn't say he was happy. He wanted the new contract. He wanted to stay in Dallas. Dallas told him to go. So you're gonna say this was the cat that was gonna protect Burrow?
Dallas gonna tell you to go? You going Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, because they said they was drafting better.
Man.
They've been drafting better offensive linemen than him.
Yeah.
So
Dallas
they
Cowboys.
kicked him in
I
from
cannot compare the Dallas Cowboys. No,
the Dallas Cowboys kicked him in from tackle to guard. And you think this boy was about to save Burrow from them sacks of Chris Jones? Ain't no
You
way
did a lot
possible.
better.
You know why?
You did a lot
Because he
better.
ain't never saved Dak from those sacks
Did a
either.
lot better. No, Dak can't save himself from interceptions.
That boy shouldn't be starting. Dak should not be starting. Dak can't hit the side of a barn. What I said was, Trell, I said that Joe Burrow is never going to be the GOAT. Just because the simple fact for the same exact thing I put in the group text was his career is going to be Dan Marino. He's never going to win a Super Bowl at Cincinnati.
Well, if they referee him like they did this last game, he's never gonna win nothing. If they shaft that boy like last game, and they not just him, but just the team.
Yep, but I also said in there that the game was rigged.
He did.
I did say that the game was rigged.
But I'm saying, so Will, let's think about it. If
You think they gonna rig it for the Cincinnati Bengals? They ain't rigging nothing for no Bengals ever.
Nah, they're not doing it.
But Sean Payton just went to Denver. Denver is winning in the next 3 years, yo. So that's one off of Joe Burrow's list.
So it's more so for Super Bowl, it's more so about, it's not necessarily the player, because obviously Joe Burrow is a popular player.
Yeah.
But for money purposes, it's the organization that brings the money for Super Bowl, not so much the player.
Yeah, I got a question. What teams have never won a Super Bowl?
The Bengals.
The Bengals. Who else? Who else? I don't know.
Texans.
The
Texans. They fairly knew. Yeah,
They
knew.
fairly
Jaguars knew.
Cleveland Browns, how they won one?
Cleveland Browns.
I don't know if the have the Titans ever won when they was the Oilers. I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't remember Houston Oilers winning.
They were 1 yard away from tying one.
They was one yard away.
Okay.
Got tackled.
Yeah, with Steve.
Yeah, Steve Miller.
That hurt.
Dyson. Yeah, I remember watching it.
It hurt.
Cardinals?
What long?
Yeah, that's
What,
one, yeah.
what
I think way
long-term
back in the
teams?
day.
What
Way back
long-term
when the
teams,
Super Bowl,
though?
like Super Bowl
Long-term?
5 or something like
yeah,
that.
long-term teams that never won that.
Had the Vikings ever won a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
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 Wasn't putting in the
Detroit Lions ever won a
70s.
Super Bowl? Had they? Had Detroit Lions won one?
No.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I have no idea. I can't go back there.
I've been feeling like there's some teams that's just never gonna win that.
And the Bengals will win.
I think Joe gonna bring him to the promised land.
You think they're gonna do it?
I got.
He brought him last year.
and he was. I'm telling you.
No, he brought them.
He was,
They not winning.
If Aaron-
They ain't going in there getting them spoils.
If Aaron Donald,
They ain't going.
If Aaron Donald wasn't taking HGH, he would have.
So
Oh man!
So last year was Aaron Donald, right? Last year was Aaron Donald. This year is Chris Jones.
So I got a
Who is
question,
going to
though.
be next year?
But I got a question. That boy did what he did this year with backup O linemen. This is not true, right? In the playoffs, backup O linemen.
He did, Will.
That's backup O linemen. He had 3 O linemen out.
He did.
True.
True.
He had 3
Three-
and he
we-
lost one during the game.
Hold on, we said this last year though.
Exactly.
We said this last year that if they get an O line, but I give this to your point now.
Exactly.
Because if they
I do get that point. I do get that.
if they get an O line, them boys will be a problem. That boy got sacked 4 times in like the first quarter of that Chiefs game. Yeah, it's same. We saw the same thing last year.
Same thing.
Kept on taking them licks. You know what I'm saying? He don't take hard licks, which is good too. But still, he take them licks. But if they get the ball O-line, man, but that's organization. Yeah.
Organization.
I see.
They never gonna win.
But even from a coaching standpoint, why not chip Chris Jones?
Because they moving him all everywhere. So at the end of the game, if
They
you
did.
notice in the fourth quarter,
I
he was
saw
playing
that.
Put him
defensive
at defensive
end.
end.
He was playing defensive end.
I saw
Lined up
that.
wide at a 7 tick. So-
but yeah, I mean, hey, you gotta be able to adjust on the fly.
Yeah. I agree though.
You gotta
I
adjust
agree
on the
with
fly.
that.
You
Yeah,
have to
I
adjust
get it.
on the
I
fly.
agree with that.
'Cause
I get it.
You got to, man.
I'm
Like,
gonna put Samaj P. Ryan Big Self back there. And
Just
you,
chip
you,
him.
the, you the next
Just all
offensive
you gotta do
lineman,
is chip
dog.
him.
But even on the game, the play that won the game, really, Carlos Dunlap actually disrupted it from the D tackle spot because they slid him inside and he about 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah,
So when he jumped up, Burrow clinched the ball and Chris Jones hit him. So I'm just saying, they
Was that not the same problem last year?
same problem.
What's that?
If they, why they didn't have somebody chip Aaron Donald? Wasn't Aaron Donald
Yep.
that the last sack?
He was a 3 tech. Yep.
And Jamal was open,
Wide open.
wide open. It's stuff like that to me.
but
I
then,
would,
the Titans sacked him 9 times last year in the playoffs.
in the playoffs.
And he still won, though, Will.
It was the Titans. They ain't had
Yeah,
no
it
offense
don't
except for
matter.
Derrick Henry.
Will, I don't know, bro. This dude.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'm looking at history.
Can he be?
I'm looking
Can
at
he
history.
be?
Hold on.
Can he be the LeBron James to the Cleveland Cavaliers?
hold on, I got
Yes.
I gotta
When he left and then came back, yes,
No,
he
that's-
can leave.
Look, that's what I'm
He
about to
can
ask.
leave.
That's what I'm about to ask, Doug. Are
and
you
go
saying,
win.
Are you saying he gonna take Cincinnati to the promised land, or he's gonna go to the promised land? Like if Joe Burrow gonna go to the promised land?
I
You
think
get
he's gonna
it?
take Cincinnati to the promised land.
I think he can. But once again,
He has to. You brought up a great analogy. LeBron James. Joe is from Ohio,
Right.
playing in Ohio.
True.
He's gonna have to leave and go somewhere else. He got to make a decision part 3
Oh,
because we
man.
watch
Oh,
Bronny
man.
doing it again right
Oh,
now.
man. Oh,
Bronny is
man.
making the decision part 2 for
Oh,
everybody.
man.
Y'all need to
Oh,
go
man.
peep out the social media and what's going on right now
Oh,
in
man.
the NCAA basketball recruiting as signing day is up on us.
bro.
Who win the Super Bowl?
Oh man, the Eagles. The
Who
Eagles
win the
won.
Super Bowl?
I gotta say Eagles. I'm saying that because that's what I want them to win.
Oh, the who?
I want them to win.
All right.
Yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow. Let's go.
What? Never. Not never.
What you talking about this shit?